All right. I need to put up the link, don't I? I'm gonna get a YouTube email here with the link. There we go. All right. Bear with me as my computer is slow and I need to build a new one. Those of y'all who were on the stream yesterday know. Oh wow, that's so weird. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have this in front of me. I just want to see for when I start how many. Let me just let the room fill up before I get into this. And I'm gonna also retweet this on the Stay Navigate account. Do. Oops, that's not what I want. All right, give me 1 sec. Okay. All right. It says only one person watching now. I think this will just be something for the nerds. 2 watching now. This is just gonna go on the YouTube channel. So I'm just gonna get right into it, and it'll be a recording of me getting into this feature. So Jack Kirsting, our development director, has put up the live shifts from 2024 on the NavCast for Virginia. So let's see here. So if you go to the NavCast, go to statenavigate.org and hit Virginia election results, and go to the bottom here, you can see the 2024 margin, the current margin, the shift from 2024. So that's what I'm kind of looking for, to just kind of go over House of Delegates stuff, Attorney General stuff, and noticing what's going on here, right, with these different demographics, where people were strong, where people were weak. Because presidential results are usually a good, I would say, how would I define presidential results when it comes to election forecasting? It's like the floor, it's the bare minimum, or just kind of the median result in modern politics, I think. Especially campaigns will use presidential results in large part to figure out where they should be targeting, where they should be targeting voters, where they should be targeting districts or states, right? So let's get into it. It looks like the largest shift to Democrats or to Spanberger from 2024 presidential results was Manassas Park City. Manassas Park City is an overwhelmingly Latino area, as well as Manassas, which is right here. That shifted 15.6%. Prince William shifted 15.7%. There is a large Latino population here that shifted right in 2024. And obviously, I mean, you can see just these really big blue shifts in Northern Virginia. And I think part of that really is just a government shutdown, and just Republicans have lost all the ground that they made up in Nova. They're now, I think, some of these localities. I mean, Loudon was bluer than it was in 2020, even when Biden was winning Virginia by 10%. So Republicans have lost all their ground with these minority groups. Now, let's actually look into the areas, because there's a lot of blue on this map for these shifts from 2024, right? As I think we all expected when this map was being put together. But where are the areas that shifted to Sears? Well, one thing that is interesting that stands out to me is Lancaster County. Very, very weird. And it looks like that this shift to Sears came out from a drop in black turnout. These are heavily black precincts in Lancaster County. These are areas in the white precincts here, pretty much, especially these two, are where you have a lot of like white retirees, more liberal leaning, moving into the county. So it's really interesting because I was thinking like, okay, what are some, because Donald Trump didn't win Lancaster by a crazy margin, I want to say. This shifted 2 points to the right. So Trump won it by like 5, or just under 5, in 2024. So yeah, and keep in mind we have on the projected margin, we have, you know, some more votes expected to come in with provisionals and everything, and those go allocated either when they come in or toward the end. So yeah, okay. Shift from 2024. We also saw some really interesting shifts in places like Lynchburg. I mean, Democrats did pretty well with getting out black voters in Lynchburg, which I thought was surprising in the early vote. And then let's look at Spanberger's home county of Richmond. This is where Spanberger is from. This is Spanberger's home precinct, the Sadler precinct, which shifted 15 points to the left. Colonial Trail and Innsbrook, that has so this is Short Pump. These areas, especially these two precincts, have a high Asian population. So just like in New Jersey and elsewhere, Asians shifted heavily to the left, to Democrats relative to 2024. And you can see this in Loudoun as well, where these are where the Asian Americans are. Those that came out to vote, at least, were very, very Democratic compared to the whole composition of the Asian electorate in 2024. We will do some deep dive analysis on whether that's a turnout differential or what. Starting like tomorrow is when I'll be getting into things. Other localities where Sears, those localities shifted rightward from 2024 are in Southside. This was always expected to be a good area for Sears, just because the black turnout drops here. And there's not the big black population in Charlotte or Appomattox or Mecklenburg. Actually, Mecklenburg, yes. There is a substantial, I think it's like a quarter black. But they still shifted a lot to the left. Let's look at the House of Delegates. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. Let's go to Attorney General. Because the Attorney General shifts are really interesting. So, these educated precincts shifted heavily rightward. So these educated voters, and this is what we had saw in our House District 73 poll in Chesterfield County, these educated voters did not approve of Jay Jones with his scandal, but the more working class voters, that lack of college education, or especially minority voters, were still standing by Jones compared to like these areas of Arlington versus the more like upper middle class parts. And then the same thing here in like Great Falls. Yeah, like these are very wealthy whites. These are very wealthy white precincts, but more diverse precincts shifted heavily to the left. Let's see what else we got here. Jones's best county was Manassas Park, 7.4. And then, yeah, so it's just like Prince William. I mean, just Democrats knocked it out of the park in this county. Um, and you can see the same with what educated whites in Richmond. These are very educated, wealthy white areas in the western part of the city. These are also kind of wealthy and white, but a little bit younger in the museum district. This is my precinct. Didn't really change much. But this is like VCU right here. So the college students just came out really strong. South side of Richmond is pretty minority heavy. And again, House District 71 or 73, I mean, looks like it probably voted for Mieres. It includes like this precinct, Sycamore, and these ones. Only voted for Harris by 1.1%. We had Mieres leading House District 71 by, I think, 73, leading 73 by 7. We're going to get those calculations out soon enough to where we figure out how those House of Delegates districts voted in each of the statewide elections. And they will be up on State Navigate. Other localities, like Lancaster. And then in the beach, you can see this is where Mieres represented the House. Those were his best precincts that shifted. These minority areas shifted to the left. A lot of Asians here, and particularly Filipino community here in Virginia Beach. These are pretty black precincts as well. And it looks like, how well did Jones do in Norfolk? Norfolk only shifted 3 points leftward. This one is crazy, though. This is a white, I think it's a largely white precinct, I want to say, in northern Norfolk, that shifted double digits to the left. What's funny is that this is where Jones represented, roughly, in the House, in his old House of Delegates district, and yet it moved to the right. And I'm not sure whether that's because of a drop in black turnout or what, but I mean, that's impressive. Funny enough, I want to say that this is where the Obama rally was. So I need to tweet that out. That's amazing. That the largest shift in his hometown of Norfolk was where the Obama rally was. That's funny. Let's see what else here. Yeah, educated, wealthy whites. Goochland moving hard to the right. That's where Jones struggled, and that's what we had seen in our poll. So it was pretty much because of these low and mid-propensity Democrats that came out that really boosted Spanberger's margin. I had said that this was a possibility. They had come out, they would be heavily, heavily Democratic, and got Jones over the finish line. He's going to win by, like 6 points. Areas like these in Southwest are because of a turnout differential. A lot of Trump-loving Republicans sat home and did not vote. So, and like the Fox precinct, this is an ancestrally Democratic precinct in Buchanan County. They just kind of stayed home. The Republicans did. So it's really interesting there. And then let's look at Blacksburg, honestly. These are the campus precincts. And they shifted heavily to the left from 2024, even the Jones. These are more of like the suburbs, I guess, of Blacksburg. Technically, this isn't the town proper. Let's look at the governor. I want to stay on Attorney General, actually. Let's see here. What else do I want to look at? I kind of want to look at, this is where I grew up in Hanover. Every precinct shifted to the right. And this is, courthouse. Looks like it had the biggest. That's a pretty wealthy white precinct. Very affluent. So that seems to be the thing here, is that Jones did not do well with white affluent voters. Pretty much a whole bunch of Harris voters that switched over to Harris were largely white, affluent, educated voters, especially older voters. That seems to be where Jones struggled. So that's kind of the inverse of the gains that Kamala Harris made last year. So, yeah. What else can we see with... actually, I want to see Lieutenant Governor. I haven't looked at Lieutenant Governor yet. So she didn't... So Hashmi didn't do well in, like, the Roanoke media market, it looks like. This is Roanoke media market right here. Areas that shifted rightward despite Hashmi winning substantially. And then there's a large turnout differential here in Southwest. And it looks like counties that I guess kind of trended rightward. When you talk about trend, you're talking about the swing, statewide swing minus the county level swing or precinct level swing, right? When we're talking about trend. And it seems like Hashmi did not do well with voters in Southwest, which is not surprising. I feel like that was expected. Yeah. I think that was expected. Hashmi is from Chesterfield, and had a lot of shifts to the left for her here. I don't know what part... I mean, her district is right here. So she represents this area, moved heavily leftward. Looks like there was just some down ballot lag, ticket splitting people. Oh, you know what? Abigail Spanberger won every precinct, right? Yep. She won 106. That precinct, this is old money Richmond. Windsor Farms. And the fact she won that is crazy. I mean, or like even Tuckahoe won. I mean, that voted for Harris, but you know, it's as someone who's been in the game for looking at Virginia politics for a while, it's just crazy to think those are blue precincts now. Also, Abigail Spanberger is the first Democrat to win more than 2 precincts in Hanover since Tim Kaine in 2018. In 2018, Tim Kaine won the courthouse precinct, and Tim Kaine won the Sliding Hill precinct. It's so funny that it just seems like no matter what, I don't know why, like, Democrats can't win that one, even Spanberger. This one is not surprising. You've had quite a bit of housing in the Atlee area built, I think, if I recall correctly, over the years. And then, let's see, shift from 24. Yeah, these are areas where Spanberger represented. Current margin. She won the Ladysmith area. Did really well in Spotsylvania. She represented this area in Congress. So yeah, the areas where Spanberger represented in Congress are Chesterfield, Henrico, Louisa, Goochland, Powhatan, Amelia. She didn't really do much in Amelia when she was representing that county much, I think, when she was in Congress, like targeting wise. She was never really strong there. Or Nottoway. Nottoway didn't shift much to the left. But like Orange and Culpeper, yeah, and then Spotsylvania and Henrico and Chesterfield, that was the path to her victory back in her congressional days. How much did she win Gordonsville? Yeah. 16 points. I mean, it's a Harris town. But what's crazy, oh my gosh, she won every single precinct in Lake of the Woods. These are these are affluent and white and wealthy and everything. They've been kind of moving leftward, but you've had retirees move there. But now, she won every single precinct there. She only lost Orange County by what margin? 15. And that is a 9-point shift to the left. And she won every precinct in Culpeper, I take it? Or maybe not. Maybe missing one. Nope, she won every single precinct. I think these were 2 precincts that voted for Trump in 2016. Also want to say this one voted for Trump in 2024. And she won every single precinct in Culpeper. Culpeper also very heavily Hispanic. And she might win York, and Fluvanna, and Caroline, but we're going to have to wait for late mail and provisionals to see whether that happens. I'm surprised, and I guess it's because Sears just did really well in Southside. But yeah, like Southside didn't really move much. And it's because Democrats aren't great at targeting black Democrats south of the Appomattox River, which is like along here. Like yeah, Sussex moving rightward, or trending rightward, I should say. Prince George didn't really move leftward that much. But yeah, let's go to the House of Delegates. So, who overperformed the most? Well, let's look. Latinos, yep. Well, okay, here's the thing, though, is that the Republican candidate here dropped out. So a 30-point leftward shift from 2024 does have some context there. I want to say this was uncontested. Yeah, it was. Okay. So yeah, some of these shift, if there's like uncontested districts like this one, it still has that. Because, you know, we include write-in votes and all that stuff and third-party candidates, so keep that in mind. An area that didn't shift leftward from 2024 that much on the House of Delegates level is House District 6, which is interesting. And I'm wondering if that's because of the Jay Jones effect, where wealthy whites were not happy. That would be my guess. It's so crazy that Bobby Orrock did 6 points worse than Trump. That was just such a big upset. Again, keep in mind these are the current margin shifts, so this one's going to be a little bit bluer. These shifts are going to be changing as more late mail and provisionals come in. So these shifts are from current projected results with precincts with you know different non-election day results allocated to precincts using formula or in locations where they have already allocated to precincts. We have that in there. Okay. So who are the let's look at what's left of the House Republican caucus. I mean, their candidates in all competitive races did worse than Donald Trump, which is crazy because that didn't even really happen much in 2017, I feel. You know, usually there's like some down ballot lag. You know, they still held seats where, I mean, so they flipped every single Harris seat and then some Trump seats. Yeah, the only Republican who did better than Donald Trump is Carrie Coyner. She only did better by a point. And that's partly because of differential, it looks like. This is a very black precinct in Hopewell. And that, the turnout there was not great for Democrats, which is what I had seen earlier in the day. And then she did a little bit better in Chesterfield, thanks to her time serving on the Chesterfield board, or Chesterfield School Board, I should say. Mike Cherry, this district is going to definitely be in play in 2027. He did 1.8% worse than Trump as of right now. And that's probably going to increase as the mail comes in. Ann Farrell Tata, I was kind of alluding to this earlier today. She did 4 points better than Trump. I think she's probably the only Republican who is like in an outside competitive race who took a race seriously, that could have been competitive even though she didn't have much opposition, and overperformed Trump. And it is because of that. And I think also because part of this is Miaris coattails. This was Miaris' old seat in the House. But yeah, let's see here. Okay. Okay. Current vote is 10.7. I misspoke when I saw that chart. That said Navarre was up like 15. She's up by 11. So the shift here from the presidential result, according to our results, did not change much. Let's see what else we have here. Lily Franklin. I want to go to the Lily Franklin seat. Wow. Look at that. Look at those precinct shifts at Virginia Tech. 20 points left. 30 points left. 15 points left. Or sorry, that's not a campus precinct. Where's the other one? Come on. There we go. 23 points left. A3, E3, F3. Looks like Obenshane did a little bit better. I think it looks like... I mean, yeah, he was targeting this one a lot. It looks like Franklin... This was the precinct that really helped Obenshane with his margin in Christiansburg, and it looks like Franklin worked there. You can kind of tell what areas candidates work, which is really interesting. Let's see. Gary Kilgore did a point worse than Trump. That's probably because of differential turnout. What areas shifted the hardest left? This has a big Latino population. Yep. Big Latino population in Clover Hill, in House District 73. So that explains why I had the biggest shift leftward. I wonder if Early is from this precinct. I don't know what precinct he's from, but... JJ Singh is a freshman and he did 17 points better than Harris. Which incumbent Democrat had the biggest overperformance? Besides Maldonado, whose Republican opponent dropped out of the race, effectively. It's probably going to be someone in Nova. Candy King, 17. I think it's Candy King. I think everyone else was that had like bigger shifts were uncontested. Yeah, it looks like it's Candy King. Is it for any House of Delegates district candidate or just incumbent? 17. Yeah. I think part of why that is a sympathy vote. Unfortunately, Delegate King lost her daughter in the final in just a few weeks ago. I say part. I don't think that's the largest reason. But when I think back to Chris Hurst in 2017, I think he got some sympathy vote there. Prayers are still with her. That's just so sad. Okay. All right. Well, I think I've delved deep enough. You guys can play with this yourself and look at these shifts. This is a really great tool. And it'll be updating as we get mail and provisionals and all that allocated to precinct. So keep it, bookmarked or whatever through like next week, or at least through certification of results from Virginia Department of Elections. And yeah.